G'day folks, Corey Hind here, hope you're doing really well. So the purpose of this video is to give you some ideas on how to get local backlinks for your business. So if you've been in business for a while, you will know that, look, for any search on Google, the people up the top get a lot more leads than the people down the bottom. Okay, so as online search changes, we're finding that getting local backlinks is as important as ever, if not more important, because people are rightfully so optimizing for AI search as well, but they're forgetting that the vast majority of people still use Google for search, and also the AI search methodologies are also pulling data from Google and other places. So local backlinks are really important. Just an example here, builder in the town I'm in, if you go past the sponsored and the map pack listings, top spot there compared to spots down below, they just get way more clicks. Okay, so that is still true to this day. So what we're going to run through is some ideas which are practical. Okay, these ideas don't need technical skills. They're based on things that any business owner can do. They might take some time, but they're things that anybody can do. Just going to get myself out of the way. So, and the premise is that a backlink to your business, when one website links back to you, that's really powerful. You don't need to get a dozen of these per month. If you got one or two every month for a long time, you would very likely beat your opposition on local search. So if you're a tradie, any business that serves a local area, like if you have a Google business profile, therefore you serve a local area, this information is for you. We've got about 17 tactics here. We use these often. So we use these in our agency when we're building backlinks for clients to win. The previous example that we showed you just before for builders, that's a client of ours. He's on the very top of Google search in our town because of exactly this type of stuff. It's not difficult. It takes time. So this video might take a while as well. So buckle in, grab some tea, grab some coffee, make some notes, okay? You only need some of these ideas to make sense to you and be something that you can do and will work to get a result for your business. Remember, this will help you get found online. Okay, the entire Google system was built on backlinks. That's why they sort of won the search engine game way back in the day. So we're going to go through these examples. There's about 17. We've got some examples of businesses to sort of discuss with you. So just take notes. Some will apply for you and some won't. So the first example we've got is a tourist directory. Okay, so we've got an example here. We've got a reasonably new client that's just a small car rental business here in the Bay of Plenty, New Zealand. So a really good backlink opportunity for them is to track down any website or directory related to travel or tourism. So that's a really good local backlink. They're sites that are visited quite a lot. If your business has anything to do with travel or tourism, or is a location that's worth visiting, or is a activity worth doing, there's a really good backlink. So when you go to this type of business, they're quite new. So we're actively looking for these guides all the time, even if it's a mention on one of the social media accounts from a tourist directory. That's useful because we know as search changes at the moment, AI search is finding these mentions in other places, even if it's a social media shout out, a LinkedIn post, even an Instagram post can work now. But ideally, you would find the directory and reach out to them and say, hey, we think we should be included on your directory. Here's our details. Off we go. So that's the first idea. The second idea is alumni associations, so schools, universities, that sort of stuff. So quite often they will talk about previous students and what they've done. And the way to do that is to just go back through your history of where you went to school and actually just reach out to the schools and universities you went to say, hey, would you like to feature me in anything? Sometimes they get people to come in and talk to students about career options, and then you might get a backlink from their school website, which will be awesome. Sometimes they might just mention your name. That's still worthwhile. But if you can get on their website, really, really handy, because a local school or a local university backlink to your business is incredibly powerful in the eyes of Google. So if you're still, this example here, Mike Anastasiadis is a mortgage advisor. He runs his business in the town that he went to school in. So going to do a presentation at his school would be a super, super good idea. Not to mention the obvious benefits of people seeing your brand and your name and going, oh, wow, this guy or this girl went to our school. It'll be great to give our business to them. So have a think about how that could apply to you. Another one is Helen Laidlaw. She's a business advisor in Hamilton. I don't actually know where she went to school, but if she went to school in the Hamilton area, another great idea. Even if it's don't even think of it so much as a business generation activity or a backlink activity, just a good thing to do, a good sort of give back, show kids the different paths that are out there. But alongside of that, you can get that backlink or mention, which is very, very useful. The next one is local events. So, good example would be My Ride Mount Maunganui, which is a bike shop. They sponsor lots of events in our area. So, I would encourage any business that does this to sponsor local events, but on the proviso that you get a backlink from that event page. I've brokered some of these for clients in this area myself recently. One of my fundraising activities I do is I help a local rock climbing club to raise funds. So I have brokered some sponsorships for clients, and they will get shout outs on the social media of the Rock Climbing Association, but they'll also get a backlink from their website. And again, it's a local website, it's a charitable or community group, really powerful backlink in the eyes of Google and other search engines. So have a think about that. It's not difficult, really. You just any club that's running community events will take your money to help them run events or sponsor upcoming events or sponsor their stuff. So just reach out and have a discussion with them, get on the phone, whatever. And also, it's a great give back as well, right? So why wouldn't you do that? The next one is Chamber of Commerce. So we are reactivating our Chamber of Commerce listing ourselves in Tauranga, where we are, because I've done the metrics on their website. It's quite powerful and the backlinks are good. But for you, that would be a good idea to join your Chamber of Commerce, especially if you're new. Can be this resources, there's helpful people, there are meetups. So I'd encourage you to investigate your local Chamber of Commerce and just ask them, what's the deal with membership? Do I get a backlink to my website? My SEO guy said that's a really good idea. Okay, so do that. We have a new partner client, Jeremy. He's in Hamilton, New Zealand. He runs a sort of boutique business brokerage type of business. So we are looking at the Chamber of Commerce for him over in the Waikato, which is the area that Hamilton is in. And again, it's just a really good thing to do. The backlinks are well worth it. Sometimes there's more than that. There's meeting people, there's potential clients, all that sort of thing. But when you're learning and starting to get those local backlinks for your website, a Chamber of Commerce is usually a very aged and high authority website. So well worth looking at that. I would say if it's less than about $200 a year to join, then it's worth it just for the backlink. I know how expensive good backlink building can cost. So spend up and enjoy the benefits. The next one is B2B partners. So for example, Deanna, who's my wife, she has started a side business called Life's Next Stage, which is all about decluttering and downsizing for older people. She's done an amazing job at meeting local vendors, so people who mow lawns, wash houses, all this sort of thing. She's done an amazing job there, really amazing, and she's getting backlinks from these vendors. They have the same clientele without being in competition, so that is a perfect backlink. Another example could be JC Consultants. They're down in the Wairarapa. So they just building reports, that sort of stuff. They might think of something quite different, like offering up a free or a massively discounted asbestos survey to people in that demographic, which is, again, a good thing to do, partnership builder, but get a backlink from that area as well. Really, really useful. So have a think if that might apply to you. The other one we had was Rachel, who runs like a second-hand ring business. She could offer up a jewelry advisory service at a local thing, maybe through a church or Citizens Advice Bureau, that type of thing. Again, good thing to do, but the backlink is well worth it. Most businesses have, preferred vendors, partners, people you do business with regularly. You might even write a guest post for their website talking about the useful times you've done business together, that sort of thing. But the backlink you get from them is well worth it. Okay, the next one would be local fundraisers. So anything that is a fundraiser, think of the example I've got down there, like a local car boot sale type of thing. A business like the one I mentioned before could sponsor that and even turn up and give people advice. But sponsoring things and getting a backlink is very, very handy. It also puts you in a very good light. You're supporting a fundraising effort. So keep your eye on your local Facebook pages, LinkedIn, local blogs. Keep your ear out for the radio, for example, because people are always looking for sponsorship cash. Okay. And I say spend it, but make sure you get a backlink, because sometimes, and we've seen this happen very frequently, you only need one or two of these really strategic local high authority backlinks to leapfrog people on Google, which equals money in your business pocket. It really, really does. Spot 1 on Google versus spot 5 on Google is extra zeros on the number of leads that come through. The next one would be local government website directories. So for this one, I'll keep this one short. They are very good domains, very good websites, very powerful. Just do this. Go to Google and just Google this. Free business listings, your city name. Just do that. List them out. Work through them. Sometimes they're free. Sometimes there might be a fee involved. But if there's any that are around, make sure you get on those as well. The next one is it's similar to some of the ones above, but it's more about an actual sponsorship deal for a year for a sports club. Okay, so we've got a client over in Australia. It's a plumbing client. They sponsor a local football club, and they've got a backlink on that website. It also makes them look really good. And again, there's loads of potential linkages through the parents. So any opportunity you have to sponsor a local sports team, jump on it. It's well worth it just to make sure you get that backlink. And if they're dead against giving you the actual backlink to your website, that's okay. Just make sure you get either your Facebook page or whatever your main social platform is gets shared on theirs. Oftentimes you'll get more business out of that than what you realize. It can be one of the best things you can do. The next one is local influencers. So this one's a bit tricky, but think of Simply Organic, which is an organic food store here in Tauranga where I live. There would be people on Instagram who are micro influencers who might give you some shout outs, even backlinks from other places that they're on, simply for some free product. So this may or may not apply to your business, but just think about it. Are there people in your niche who share stuff and would take either cash or product for a backlink or a mention? The next one is best of listings. So if you check out this URL here, which is Arborists and Tree Surgeons in Tauranga, this business, Better Trees Bay of Plenty, appears at the very top. Okay, so look around for local business awards, look around for blogs or websites that list this stuff. There's quite a few blogs now that have these sort of top 10 articles, best of, that sort of thing. Inside knowledge of this game. I've been doing this for a very long time. Oftentimes, you'll have to pay a fee for this, which some people would argue is against the terms of Google. But I know that this goes on. So if there's a small fee, do it. Google doesn't really care as long as the page is accurate and has quality information. So that's that game. Check that one out for your business. The next one is similar to the earlier one about schools, but this is more about internships and career opportunities. So if you're in a particular niche and you've got a summer traineeship coming up or an apprenticeship, getting that on the school website is just as good as any other backlink from a school or a church or a local website that has some power in the eyes of Google. So just keep your eyes out for that sort of thing. This may or may not apply to your business, but for some it does, and it can be a very good backlink. And again, it makes it look good. Similar vein to that is the good old-fashioned job board. So where do people in your community or niche place jobs? Do they put them online? Is it something like Craigslist? Have a think about that and how you can get backlinks that way. When I do backlink research on businesses, which I do every day, I'll very frequently see backlinks from places like Seek, which is a employment website. So have a think about that. The next one is local newspapers or business journals. So these are really trusted and highly authoritative. So we took on a new client recently who is um, like a sand artist team building guy. Very fascinating business. He has got some amazing backlinks very quickly by doing interesting stuff, more or less, and getting featured in the local paper, the local free paper, not the main paper. Now, what can happen here, and I was discussing this yesterday with Deanna, who I mentioned before, she's got a shout out in a small little publication for older people. Now, once that happens, the next size up the media game might see that and go, oh, that person's trusted and authoritative. I'll feature them in our thing. And then you never know, the bigger newspapers, the broadsheets might see that as well. So it's well worth thinking about how you can get yourself in front of anybody in that news media space. So sometimes you do have to send press releases or pitch ideas. Sometimes you just have to build relationships with these people. An old hack is, discover or find out where these people are active themselves online. So it might be Twitter or LinkedIn. Start to like their posts and their activity so they kind of see your name. And by the time you reach out, you might have more chance of getting through. We use a website called featured.com, which is really useful. What featured.com is a place where people go to ask for information to add to an article they're writing. So I might go there myself and say, hey, I'm writing an article about how to get backlinks on sports publications. Anybody out there with some expert knowledge care to add to that? And then people will pitch their comments and they'll get a backlink in the article. So it's kind of like what Haro mentioned down here is, but featured.com does it really, really well. They're owned by the same group. We are finding that we're getting a lot more success with Featured than Haro. Back in the day, a while back, Haro was really useful because all the journalists would use it. They'd be looking for expert comments and people would go in there. They would write their comments in their articles or their comments about a certain topic. And if it was good and authoritative, it would get featured in even as high as a senior newspaper. And that authoritative feature and potentially backlink was well worth it. So have a look and see if you can get onto this. Featured.com, you do get a few submissions each month for free. We have a paid version of that, but as an individual person running a business, you can go there, set yourself up an account, scroll through it every few days and put in comments that might be applicable. And some of the websites that we're getting links on are very, very good. So it's well worth it. This is one of our favorites this year. Okay, the next one is community centers and libraries. Now, for me, myself, we've done this before. We've gone to the local community, the business community, and done presentations. It's well worth it. You might have a topic you want to talk about or educate people about. Look, even if you're a builder, you might go to a local building type of thing and talk about a specific niche topic in there. But for me, it was generally digital marketing. And it's great. You meet people, you get shout outs on their socials, but you can also get, featured on their site. So, for example, you might live in a town and there's a local community center that runs workshops once a month for the local business community. Just go there and ask, can I present? It makes your business look highly credible, highly trusted, but also if you get a backlink out of that, super good. So give it a go. Local directories for services. So this is, again, a really simple early stage tactic and not difficult. So go to ChatGPT and just throw this in there, this exact thing here. My business, then your name, is in the niche that you're in. Are there any local directories or citations that we do not appear in? And that'll pull up any of your directories, business citations, etc., where you don't exist. Very useful, takes seconds. ChatGPT is really, really good for this. We're using this prompt for our clients at the moment to make sure that they are present in all the right places. So really, really useful. Okay, next one. We've got 2 to go. Stick with me, we're almost done. Local blogs. Okay, so blogs were massive back in the day. Then social media kind of took over. But what we're noticing as well now is that people are writing long form again, like blogs, in various places. Some are blog websites, some are LinkedIn company pages, some people are using Substack or medium.com, those types of places. Have a think about your niche and your area. Are there people out there that are publishing stuff who need content? So, for example, Chris is a client of ours. He runs building surveying services here in Tauranga. They do asbestos checks, healthy home checks, building reports, that type of stuff. They talk to builders all the time. They talk to developers, real estate agents, etc. So, and opinions from the field type of thing. He can offer up information about what they're seeing with a certain niche of home, and that could be added to a local building blog, that type of thing. Another example could be Vicky, who's got a second-hand wedding dress business. So again, she should be talking to people in the wedding industry down in Wellington and offering up opinions, her expert commentary, anything in that niche, because the value of that backlink is well worth it. Okay, last one. You've stuck with me. Well done. This has been quite a long video. But again, like I said at the start, you only need a couple of these things to work for you, and you've got immense value. Okay, so the last one is non-profit organizations. So let's say, for example, ZR Decorating. They are painters, decorators in Wellington. They might go to the local Salvation Army stores in Wellington and say, hey, we would love to do some work for you for free. We'll do some free touch-ups, whatever, but we'd love to get mentioned on your website for that, or some signage on your store, for example, property maintained by. You might have an arborist business, and you might do the same for the local golf club. We will trim your trees, but we'd love a big sign and a mention on your website. Another one is Vida Landscape Solutions. They are a landscaper up in Auckland. They could find a local retirement village and offer up lawn mowing every 2 weeks, if it's not too big, in exchange for a bit of signage on the property, but also a backlink from their website. That's the video. Okay, so keep in mind, this is very useful. So all of these ideas are very useful. They take time. They take relationship building. It's a bit like sales. You might reach out for 5 and get 1 hit. You might reach out for 10, get 1 hit. It's well worth it. If you need help, we can help. If you need just tips, ask in the comments below, and I can ask in the comments below. Keep in mind, a lot of this is simply creativity. Okay, so these examples I've got through this article, I've just thought of them on the spot. Okay, you've got to think. How can my business partner with people? How can I get myself featured on websites and places? It's different for every single business. I've never seen businesses in different niches with exactly the same playbook for getting the best backlinks. There's always a way to get more and better backlinks, especially in that local space. So anyway, thanks for watching all the way through. I know it's a long one, but it takes time to explain this stuff. And like most things with SEO, this stuff is hard in terms of time and effort. Therefore, it works more effectively than short-term free stuff, if that makes sense. So with SEO, generally, the harder the activity, the bigger the result. So please take this video on, make some notes, do some stuff, and reach out if you need help. Bye for now.